Welcome to Keeping It Real with Rhinoreels, episode one. Excited to have my brother Dphipps here. How you feeling today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, bro. You're
Awesome.
someone who it was an early mentor of mine, still, to this day, a close friend, and it really taught me a lot about business, a lot about relationships and life. Uh, and so, really excited to have you on. So, for people who don't know that much about you, could you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm Dphipps, of course. I reside right now currently in Indiana and Georgia at the same time. And I deal with a lot of multimedia consultants. If you don't know what multimedia consultants is, deal with ranging on giving consultants in the video, sound, and websites area. Whether it's video recording or purchasing equipment for video streaming and recording, to audio engineering or giving consultants in the audio field, or working on a basic website to databasing, just giving those consultants and dealing with the educational curriculum side of it too as well. It's been great doing it for almost 11 years now. And so it's been great to just develop it and get everything accomplished in that area.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I've been able to work hands-on with you and see a lot of the different processes. See some audio, some video. You taught me a lot about lighting and framing in the background. Because for those who don't know, in my previous career, I used to shoot music videos. And so Donovan definitely taught me a lot of stuff on that. And so you taught me a lot of different things about business early on, whenever I was a late teenager. And I've never really asked you this, even off camera, but I'm curious, how did you first get started in business? I know you said you've been in the multimedia realm for almost 11 years now. Um, did you first start in multimedia? Did you start somewhere else? Like, where'd you get the inspiration?
So the inspiration came when I was in middle school to shoot music videos and just come up with crazy ideas like chroma key, green screen. A great director teacher of ours, my brother and I, my twin brother and I, um, kind of mentored us and took us under her wing as like sons and students. She's really treasure and dear to our hearts. Name is Darlene. She took us under her wing and actually helped us develop some more skills and provided resources for us to record and provided resources for us to help with different things while we were in middle school.
Oh,
And so she took the time out and kind of just took us under her heart and took us under her soul and just guide us like a mother, another mother, you know. So
that's awesome, man.
yeah.
That you were able to get the inspiration young and find a mentor, which is huge. I know both of us believe in mentorship a
Oh
lot.
yes.
It definitely, guides our path. I'm not gonna say 100%, but almost 100%. Like mentorship is everything.
It
Um,
is
so
everything.
so going from you know learning some skills from an early mentor in middle school, when did you first start to practice those skills or actually, convert it into revenue? Was that in middle school? Was that in high school?
High school, I would say, in ninth grade. You know, there was a balance in sports and also in this media life where I started engaging and creating content while I was in ninth grade. On the business side, there was several different companies that were coming to my twin and I, along with just having opportunities working with school boards and public corporations, starting from high school to different programs in high school, directing different news shows for the high school, my local high school, and coming up with creative ideas to create different content in the media room.
Mm.
And then developing different outside contracts that came from high school and came from college, and just every missions in church, and directing media teams in the church across several different states, uh, specifically at my home church in Evansville, Indiana. So,
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that you'd been working with churches on the media side since high school. I know whenever I was in Evansville and we were hanging out all the time, I know you were super involved with, multiple different churches and would be traveling to
mhm.
different places and helping out with that. Um, I think that's a great way to get experience and also make an impact
Oh yeah,
because you know most people that run the church, they're focused on delivering the sermon and having community get-togethers, and the whole live streaming aspect is huge. It can affect their viewership, help connect those people who aren't able to make it into the service. And personally, myself, I actually volunteered my home church in Evansville to get behind the camera and do some recording. So for those of you who have been to a larger church where they have live video up on screen, it has some lyrics. I actually helped do some of the live streaming for that. So that's another thing that we have in common, which is super dope. Uh,
of
what would
course,
you
we have a lot
say?
of
Oh,
common
go ahead.
ground. Of course, starting a studio together, which was getting known, and it was some rockers there, and that's a good thing in business when you have rockers. That means things are growing and developing and taking off. And when things take off, you have to have a common ground of meeting the expectations of the takeoff and having enough support of workers and enough support of resources to make sure that it doesn't just take off and burn to the ground at the next point. And so,
Yeah, yeah, 100%. That was our first, partnership and business venture,
mhm.
which was something that you had a lot of experience in, and it made sense for
Ooh,
me because I was shooting music videos. But in order to shoot music videos, they first need to record music. So we were able to, help with both of those avenues,
oh yeah.
which is something that I think is a great business move. If you can help your client not only with one thing, but what's the next natural thing after that. You're able
Hmm.
to deliver more value. You can do packages. Um, there's so many ways to get creative with that.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah,
You're right.
and we're talking
And
about
while you're being
working.
cre- while you're being creative, just to add in,
Yeah.
a lot of times creativity creates a lot of thinking. Okay. Or you get a lot of thinking when you want to be creative. And it could be a good thing and a bad thing. Okay. Because there's so much time in a day where you can only get so many things accomplished. And being too creative can take a lot of time out of your schedule. When basic creative, if you stay with basic creativity, it will help accomplish a goal. Okay. A lot of times, I'm an overthinker, I'm an overachiever sometimes, and like to have things just rolling. It's like, hit me with your best shot, Jimmy. Okay. That's what I like when I'm doing my best at all times. And I get frustrated when I can't seem to fix things right then and there with the knowledge I know. Okay. Uh, the knowledge is there. Sometimes it's the hands, having the hands to be able to complete all of those tasks in one wrap. For example, I've been one man show several times at events where I'm running the video, running the audio, just running different jobs that normally requires a handful of people to actually get the job done. And as I get to the next step of life, I've been enhancing where I'm delegating to workers that can get the same work that I'm getting done with more people, basically, more hands on. So,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Delegation is huge, and that's how you're able to scale. Because if you're using your hands, which is a physical resource,
mhm.
times time, which is a limited resource, you can only have so much output. But leveraging other people's physical resource and their time, you can have unlimited outputs. And I've seen that in action of you doing multiple roles, and it's stressful, but you can get it done
Sure.
for a period of time. Now, expecting to get that done for 12 hours at a time would be ridiculous. Um, but then there's part of the multimedia that you can get done at home, you can get done at the office, you can do, just by yourself, and not necessarily face to face with people,
Oh,
which
yeah.
brings the aspect of, digital entrepreneurship. Um,
Mhm.
and I was curious, what's important to you about also having the digital aspect where you don't have to be in person for 100% of your business?
That's a good question. When we started with our friendship, we started with friendship and business, and so which is a good thing. And one of our main focus is to get from this hands-on experience to moving into the digital entrepreneurship that would require us not having that physical touch, not having that physical interaction with our customer and clientele. Because most of the time, when you have to have that physical interaction, you can't be at several places at one time. But if you have that virtual interaction and that digital interaction in the business world, you can create platforms that will create you business and leads and prospects that will open up doors of opportunity and open up vision that will help limit all of the boots on the ground work, okay? Where you can have that digital move on the ground, move in the areas where you're marketing in areas that don't know you by just having those skills implemented in a small video promotion or a small, let's get a catchphrase to put with graphic and publish it and market it out.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, 100%. And I have been interested in that. For some context, we started hanging out in 2020. So that's when it was popular. It was trending to start working from home and going digitally.
mhm.
But here now we're in 2023 and we're still focused on building that digital aspect.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think it's going to go anywhere. Yes, we don't have to be, locked in our house, and people are working face to face and doing things in person, but having that digital aspect is so important.
Oh,
For
yeah.
example, I went back to Evansville, my hometown, recently for Thanksgiving. And for those who don't know, I'm located in Orange County, California right now. And I went to Indiana for Thanksgiving to visit family, but I was still able to get some work done while I was there. And I just wanted to get your perspective on it because I absolutely love being able to do things virtually. Just makes a huge
Virtual.
difference.
Oh, yes. Doing a lot of digital and virtual work and being able to service my clients virtually has helped me tremendously. There's some that I can't remote in functions. I don't have remote in functions for to meet their need, and of course you have to develop that and also train those clients. How to engage virtually so you don't have to be in person. That may require time off from your regular or virtual side of life to now we have to meet in person and discover some solutions that will help get this client moving. Because in the time of COVID, we were able to be in good friendship relationship on the natural side and the business side that creates distortion and creates room for growth because now you have to interact with people that you're normally not interacting with virtually because of different protocols, different essential guidelines, in which may keep the progress or process of the money flow going. I noticed in the time of COVID, I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of business created through PPP loans. And that's all because digital platforms were available for people to apply for money and to be able to get a mentor to apply for money for themselves.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many businesses popped up with unknown locations. Okay. And that's because of the digital world was created. The
Yeah.
bad side of it is the digital world can be sometimes compromised. And when you get compromised, you can get compromised results. But of course, and that can create a downfall in businesses that are trying to thrive on the virtual side. That can create a downfall because of the reputation of what has happened during the time of what we call a world health crisis of COVID. So I
Yeah.
think it was great at first. I think it started becoming a concern when so many platforms went digital and we were locked in cages and locked in homes where we couldn't get out and actually enjoy natural fresh air without certain stipulations.
Yeah, and whenever we first started today, I was asking you about how you got started in business, and you brought up a mentor. And I started off the podcast by saying you've been one of my mentors. I'm sure you've had many, many mentors throughout your life, but I was curious if you could speak on some of the mentors that you've learned from, or
Mhm.
some important like frameworks, mentalities, some of the biggest things that you've learned from other mentors that help
Mhm.
you operate and elevate, in your everyday life.
Okay. I first would start out with God leading me through the Holy Spirit. My spiritual leaders, okay, the Carters, and my grandmother, Cynthia, and Darlene, my mother, my uncle, James, and just practical living habits from different leaders that I have been around. I have surrounded myself with a seasoned group of leaders, ranging from leaders in the school force, leader school workforce, educational force, leaders from uh, church and my spiritual home, and leaders from my own family. And then I take ideals like from brothers like you and brothers like Caleb, you, Ryan, and form some vision and mission that helps me to move forward. I don't want to leave out anyone else either. I want to thank God for my twin, my identical twin that has been in your area, has done some of the greatest things I have done in the area of California, and has opened him some connections on the acting side and just the Silicon Valley IT side of life. um, I believe that having a good support group can help you strengthen some of the skills that you have. Of course, I'm in another chapter of my life, which I want to go and run into that conversation because it rolls straight into the conversation you're having right now, like it's a sentence run on, okay? But the chapter of my life is now to go see other places and see the developments of growth and digital marketing and entrepreneurships that actually exist in other places that are big markets. Because
Yeah.
large markets create large, multiple streams of increase or income. Okay. We're living in a world that we have to make sure we're making multiple streams of income for growth purposes, because we want our families to be successfully and successful and established in their living. And how does it get done? It starts with us, the next generation that can rise up and take the place of knowing accountability, responsibility, and prioritizing all of those. When we prioritize all of our responsibilities and accountabilities and leave some of the things that don't matter throw them out the window, we will win. And once again, with God, all things are possible. Okay. I don't want to
Yeah.
leave any factors of all of my life out because it creates a balanced life. My communication, I like to establish communication with everyone, like their family, because at the end of the day, if you don't, you can lose while winning, while trying to win. And so engaging your audience like their family, down to earth, is how you win, whether it's in the digital
Mm.
world or the physical or natural world of life or the spiritual world.
Hey, that's keeping it real right there.
Yes,
That's
sir.
keeping
Yes,
it
sir.
real. I love that, bro.
Yeah. And
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 yeah,
part of network.
traveling is huge. It really helps expand your mindsets and new ideas and new opportunities,
Oh yeah.
and can really just completely change your mood and your thought process.
Hmm.
I find myself that I have great ideas whenever I'm traveling, especially on the airplane. I tend to have great ideas. I'm writing down. I'm reading. I'm consuming information, and just fantastic ideas while traveling. And the other main benefit of traveling, besides knocking things off your bucket list and having new experiences, is being able to make new connections and meet
Hmm.
new people whenever you're traveling. Anywhere that I've traveled with you, we've made new connections. You've introduced me to people. You have connections and friends, family all over the US, all over different places. And if there's one thing that I know about you, is you're an excellent networker and communicator, and great at making connections. So I was also curious, what is your advice to our listeners on how they can become a better networker and how they can get better at creating connections, whether that's connections with one-on-one, connecting other people together so they can collaborate? I think those are both things that you're talented at.
Yes. Always, always allow myself to be me, first of all. Okay.
Mm,
I'm not stuck to a political curve. I'm not stuck to a political agenda. I'm not stuck to strings. Okay. Of course, I don't have any handcuffs or chains connected to me. Okay. And so, one thing about freedom and freedom living is to be able to be yourself. Okay. What I mean by that is you have standards, you have boundaries, but you also can be yourself. Okay. Being yourself creates that friendship, creates that down to earth person that people can get, but you have to be able to be willing to actually be self, okay? And self has an identity. Self has a caring, nurturing, loving side of us that helps that networking, helps that helps you walk into a room full of people and put their shoes on without even being able to wear their shoes, okay? And what do I mean by that? Someone can be wearing a size 6 and you can downsize your size 12 to their size 6 so you'll know where they're coming from. Okay.
mm,
Within reason. Okay. There's a lot of times we open the door for things and we catch ourselves saying certain things because we allowed ourselves to hear too much of people's story or their lifeline that might not help them to grow. And part of networking and connecting, you have to have an established ground of communication. And an established ground of communication has no room for the past. Okay. Established ground of networking has no room for the past. Okay. Why? Networking, if you think about the speed of light, the speed of sound, and also speed connections with your internet. Who wants to have their internet going slow on DSL or on you know on you know old things instead of fiber. Okay, the
Yeah.
speed of the speed of internet has fastened like the speed of sound and light. Okay, all right, we're using communication devices like never before. Where we used to back in my day in the '90s. If you're '90s baby, we knew about the game telephone. Okay, where you use the string and you communicate with someone through a telephone string or a cup. You use a string and two cups, and you act like you're going to hear someone on the other side. Yeah, we used to know those. Now it's just someone's not picking up my phone call, my text, my Facebook message, my Instagram message, my Snap, and we automatically disconnect when we have to remember that everyone has their own life, that they're developing chances, opportunities, and developing vision for their life, where we have taken ourselves away from that. And we have to get back to that family word. Okay. If we're all going to be good networkers and communicators, we got to look at each other as family, like family, so we can see, hey, that size 6 can change to a size 12 now because we're a big kid now. Like that commercial used to say, I'm a big kid now. A baby doesn't stay a baby, it grows up. And once it grows up, it develops more skills. Okay. If it's not developing more skills, we have a problem. Like they say, Houston, we have a problem. Yes, we have a problem. We got to get down to the problem so we can move forward. Because a lot of people don't know that when you don't communicate, when you can't network, you will never learn other people's customs, traditions, and their lifeline to move forward. I've been spoken to friends in the Haitian community, African community, Latino community, white community, black community. I've been spoken to friends in the Thai community, Marshallese community. I did not know all of these communities even existed until I stepped in and said, hey, I want to be knowing how things operate. You've got to be able to communicate to win people over, whether it's a natural communication, a spiritual communication, friendship, relationship, family thing. You've got to be able to communicate and network and connect to win.
Wow, that was awesome, man. I would say just immediately the takeaways I got from that is that networking has to have a common ground of communication, and that
Yes.
has no room for the past. I can definitely say that I've had experiences where I try and network and connect with someone, and all they're talking about is why their life is so messed up and all this stuff that happened in the past and all this, and it doesn't never leads to a great networking connection. And
No.
even on the contrary, even if they're not talking about bad things, if they're talking about, oh, I did this and I did that, and do you know who I know, and I did this, and it's like, okay, cool. Does anybody really care what you did? What you like? Yeah. So no, I
They
agree with
do.
that
They
100%.
actually do. They actually do when you're dead.
Keeping it
But
real. I need to have a button like a keep it real button, like a keep it real
yeah,
button.
boom,
Like
boom,
that,
boom.
that was
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, they actually do care when you're dead. But when you're alive, you got to just keep moving forward. You don't have time to think about what you have done in the community unless you're wanting a philanthropy award, okay? And you're being nominated for this best nominee, and now you're telling your lifelong goals. But unless it's not that, let's keep it moving.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, bro. And just talking about keeping it moving and focused on the future. One of the first lessons that you taught me and just kind of made it an importance for me to understand is about protecting your peace and happiness. And that kind of leads into networking with people that talk about the past all the time. allowing other people around you to drain your energy, if you're
Mhm.
not aware of that, it can definitely allow you to not be peaceful and not be happy. So I know it's something that you've worked on a lot. You have a lot of experience in. I was curious um, if you could talk a little bit about protecting your peace and happiness. One of the first frameworks that you ever taught me.
Part of protecting your peace and happiness. Of course, that word happy is good, but it's temporary. I'll change that word happy into joyful. Okay. We're supposed to
Yeah.
be joyful. Okay. And there's a scripture that says, we've been made in joyful night, but joy comes in the morning. Okay. Sadness should not last forever. Okay. Part of being peaceful is to have a joyful life. In order to step into the joyful living, you got to wing out some of that dead, rotten stuff that's going on in the life. Okay. A lot of times you can't allow what the enemy or what God has blessed you with get destroyed by the devil. Okay. And then
Mhm.
not only that, that's the spiritual intake of it. You can allow your time to be consumed with problems. That's going to take away all the peace that God has given you. Okay. In order to protect your peace, you've got to get away from people that are allowing their negativity, their spirits, their demonic forces, and their pee wee party, poo woo party, okay, pity party, okay. I say pee pee party and poo poo party because really they want you to sit on some dirty seats. They want you to sit in their poo. They want you to sit in their pee and enjoy it with them. Like, I don't want to enjoy your pee and poop. You go to the restroom by yourself and enjoy it. Okay. All right. And what I'm saying, I know you all are laughing. It's all right to laugh. It's a joke. Okay. It's all right to laugh. I'm saying don't let your poop and your pee pee become so nasty that you're the only one that's pooping and peeing, but you're eating your poop and pee. Because it's really, you're talking about yourself. Okay. And most of the time, when you want to protect your peace, you really need to focus on protecting what's inside your heart and developing visions and goals and missions for yourself. So if you're listening right now, just say, self, I'm better than ever. Okay. I'm doing great things. I have no time, no room for drama. I have no time and room for negativity. I have no time and room for demonic forces to take what I have been blessed with. When you've been blessed with opportunity, vision, and growth, you got to stay there. And with all your might and power, and all the power that God has given you, you got to enjoy your peace with the blessings that God is giving you to move forward. And if you're watching right now and you're listening and saying, I don't know how to do that, well, let me tell you, get you a support group that knows how to do it so you can win. If you're in the business of winning, find a support team. Don't say you can do it on your own. Don't say I can make it on your own. This is not a world where you're supposed to be making it on your own. You're supposed to have a team. You're supposed to have a support group. You're supposed to have a winning, motivational attitude. And in order to protect your peace, you got to make sure you stay in the motivated, inspirational attitude that God is giving you with the support of your family, friends that's willing to love you and take time to give you their time, and you give your time to them to develop meaningful relationships. Because when we leave this earth, it's us. It's us. So we've got to make sure while we're on this earth, we're leaving a good, loving atmosphere for all of us to dwell in unity with all men in peace. God says we can live peaceful lives in all godliness. And so that's what I'm working toward. That's what I'm, doing. And you just got to limit distractions and people's problems into your life?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, bro. And people talk about how they're self-made, or oh, I don't like him, he's not self-made. When someone says they're self-made, especially people say they're self-made millionaires or billionaires, that's just not true because you can't do it by yourself.
No, you
Um,
got to have a team.
yeah, and even if you have no aspirations to be a millionaire, billionaire, like that's cool, but you can't do it by yourself. If you're saying that you're
No,
self-made, what I'm interpreting is that actually means you're just pushing people out of your life and you think you're so confident and perfect that you got it all handled. But someone that puts all of that weight on their own shoulders is is beaten down, they're broken down, they're tired, and they're trying to deflect like they're some perfect person when inside they're hurting. So no matter what you're doing, having that team, having that support group, which all goes back to what we were talking about earlier with networking and making meaningful connections. What you pour into someone is what you get out as well. And it's not all transactional. It's not like you got to be counting favors. But I think that's something super important about protecting your peace and your joyfulness, is that if your cup is full, you're able to pour into others. Like Donovan was saying, like making an impact on this earth while you're here. And that's truly what it's all about. I actually made a post on my Instagram with our brother, the picture of me and our brother Danny recently talking about impact over income. And if you're just especially for entrepreneurs listening, if you're just focused on everybody you meet is just a customer, they're just a client, they just have a dollar sign above their head. One, they're going to feel that. Two, you're not going to make as many sales. And three, it's just not going to be, it's going to cause a lot of friction in your business versus if you gain to understand them, help to make an impact in their life and connect the dots of where they are to where they want to go. It's life changing for sure. And something just based off the time that we've gotten to know each other, and something that we're super aligned on is constant elevation and constant learning to constantly elevate in life. Like there's often times that I'll call you and I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? And you're like, I'm elevating every day.
oh yeah.
And that's a mindset that you eat, sleep, and breathe.
Oh yeah.
It so when did that kind of mindset first get instilled in you? Like when did you realize that that's going to be a lifelong journey for you?
Well, realizing it and actually just living it are two different things, okay? All right. When you start putting your mind there, it stays there, no matter what your circumstances are. Okay. We all have circumstances that come up, but we can't stay there. We're not allowed to stay there. When it's time to move, it's time to move. People might call that crazy. People might call that not realistic. People might call that narcissistic. Okay. And too optimistic. Or is that pessimistic when you're positive all the time? Op,
Optimistic is, yeah,
op,
optimistic is positive. Yep.
op, optimistic. A lot of people, I had a teenager, a student of mine today. Why are you smiling? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Tell me what you want me to do, and I'll see what I can do. Okay? I'm going to smile. Why aren't you not smiling? Okay? If I wanted to be clear, okay? Today, when I say today, everyone should be smiling. If you're not smiling, get you a support team to smile with. Just sit there for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, until you can smile again. Okay? If you can't smile, smile. If you don't want to smile, smile. Sometimes confidence is not what you're going through. Confidence is, I'm getting through it.
Mm.
It's not the now, it's what is coming. You smile through your hell. You smile through the bell. You smile through everything that's going on. Why? Because it's time to move forward. There's no time to stay behind and see what so and so is saying and they saying and he said, she said, they said, a said, also said. Uh, Not also. I'm sorry for those. It's not time to say anything except keep moving. We are in jeopardy, which we don't play Jeopardy as much. But if we go back to some of those old school shows that are on TV more than some of the new shows that are on TV that is feeding the minds of this generation and the minds of people, we wouldn't be stuck or trapped if we go back to some of those old shows that you only can get with non-cable. Y'all know what that is. You know what that is. On
Yeah.
Sundays, on Saturdays, when you turned on Recess and it was on one of those channels with just the antennas. If we go back to that, people would learn more principles than they would learn just picking up their Snapchat and thinking everything is happening. And coming back to, we got to really put our minds in the mode of winning, just elevating. An elevator can go up and down, okay? Normally, when you hit the elevator button, okay, you're normally starting on ground floor, okay? You don't walk into a place starting already on the third floor, okay? You walk into a place starting on ground floor, okay? I'm not talking about those elevators that have basement buttons now where you can go in the ground floor and now you found out that the elevator has a basement button and you thought that was the base level button, the ground floor level button, and you accidentally hit it and it took you to the basement and you didn't even know where you were because you didn't look at the buttons where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'd rather go up than to stay the same. And when I catch myself staying the same, there's no elevation. What they call is neutral or equilibrium. Stage is boom, the same.
Yeah.
I want to keep leveling up on stages, taking ground, taking back what was stolen from you. If your piece is stolen from you, get you some joy. If you don't know how to get you some joy, go run to people that has joy. You're missing
Mm.
out on love. Go run to people that can love you. If you're missing out on money, go run to people that can teach you how to make money. Don't run to people that have money that will bail you out. No, run to people that can teach you to make money. We're not a bailout plan. Okay? It's not welfare. Save yourself. No, get you around people that can keep you from falling by making the right decisions to make money. But also make sure you network and connect with them first before it's all about what you want. Because that's not elevation. That's a bailout plan. Well, I can call so and so because they can work like you. And while so and so already hears you calling them, I'm sorry, y'all. This is real elevation. Okay. Don't call someone just because when you think you are in dire need. Stay connected with them, network with them all the time. Then when you call, they're already thinking in their mind, oh, you calling for this purpose. So they gonna play with you, play with your mind, so you can stop calling them. Part of elevation is getting away from distractions. If you want to have a genuine relationship and friendship with people, start connecting and networking so your peace won't be interrupted and you can elevate. So you're not getting on the elevator and you don't know what floor you're going to because you forgot that you came to the elevator for a reason. But if you got too many distractions going on, you won't even get to the destination you need to go to. And if you're talking about people, constantly talking about people, that's not room for elevation. That's a room for being the seed and a curse to be on your life. Do you have time for a curse? You shouldn't have time for a curse. You got time to elevate. Let's elevate together and grow and make big things move.
Woo! I'm connecting the dots, man. It goes
Yeah.
mentors and networking connections help you protect
Woo.
your peace, and that helps you elevate. They're all connected. That's what
Yes.
I'm hoping you guys can hear from this message. That's what I'm hoping you guys can hear from this conversation. That's definitely what I took out. Because I was just thinking about different things that I've learned from you and that we've talked about over our many conversations and
Yes.
experiences. And it's like all of these things are connected, and focusing on those things is going to help you just live a more fulfilled life. And that
And
goes
be,
back to what we were talking about elevating. Like that helps you build a more fulfilled life.
oh yeah. And when you're elevating, we can have open conversations. There's no box right here. Do you see a box around my head? Well, okay, you might see this. These are not
Technically,
boxes. Okay, that's the background you own. Okay, but maybe I am in a box. Okay, sorry, you all. Okay, that's probably not good. Let me step out the box for a moment. Oh my goodness, I didn't even think of that. Goodness. Okay, let me shut up. Okay, now, all right. So if you find yourself trapped in a box, okay, get out of that box and declare freedom over your mind so you can walk in liberty. A lot of times people don't know how to walk in liberty because they're so consumed in being inside the box. Okay. Where if the old saying is if you think outside the box, you can go anywhere and do anything. Like I'm outside this box. Look, I'm out. Stay out and go experience different lively expected goals and visions that will increase your living, financial stability, increase your spiritual living, and increase your spiritual support. Okay, because you need it. We all need it. I need it. You need it. We all need it. Rhinoreels need it. We all need it. We all need it. Okay. In order to make change work really, you got to have a structure. You got to have a structured family, practical living side of you. In order to get that, you have to have a support that makes you keep elevating and moving mountains like never before.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming through today and
Yes.
connecting, contributing to the podcast. If y'all want to stay connected with us, you can follow me on Instagram, on basically any social media platform at Rhinoreels. Dphipps, is there a certain place you'd like for people to connect with you?
Yes, if you would like to know more information on what we do at my business or learn more about me, please go to Dphipps Live on Instagram. Okay. D as in dog, P as in Paul, H as in hog, I as in igloo, P as in Paul, P as in Paul, S as in Sam, Life. Like a boss, or more information at donovanphipps.com. Keep doing great things and know that there's always a foundation you can stand on, and there's always a support team that's there when you need them.
Let's keep it real.
Peace out.